This guy, Jerry Bailey, maybe a year or two older than I was. Good guy. He made this scoop for us. He was in the pattern making class at Santa Monica City College. And most of the good pattern makers around LA came through that Santa Monica City College pattern making program. And a nice picture of it. It's just a scoop sitting on a block of wood. This is the scoop, the one I have, the last scoop we ever had. I still have that one. Anyway, Jerry Bailey makes us this scoop. It was his own design. He didn't tell us he was doing it until it was almost done. And the first one was made out of magnesium. And it was beautiful. It wasn't homely like the fiberglass box. And it wasn't like anybody else's. And he said he made it just for us. So, God, we just loved that. So we painted it different colors with spray cans. And we kept changing the color. And then one day we had some yellow. And we put yellow on it. We went to the drag strip and we went, yeah, that's the color right there.
I think you could.
Bob Moravis did drive our car on at least 2 weekends, and I'm pretty sure Moravis agreed with the 2 weekends. Or he told me that it was the 2, I'm not sure. He's got a great memory. But I don't know if this was, would late 63, Don, would that be when Moravis had gotten into his Floyd Lippincott identity?
The 63 Winter Nationals was when he invented the story.
So that was at the beginning of 63 then. That was at the beginning of 63.
So maybe this John Peters
was in
is
fact
Moravitz, because that's who drove the freight train at the Winter Nationals was John Peters.
Yes, Moravis drove it early because we didn't have a driver. And Goob Teller drove it a couple times. This is my memory, and these things kind of conflict with my memory, so these things are right.
The first time I saw it, Google was in it.
Yeah, and he did it. He was working at Engel Cans in Santa Monica, and he did that just to help us, just to help get us started.
And you said these guys were really good about giving you good feedback, right?
Oh, Goob Teller, Roy Goob Teller, is a human data recorder, as is Bob Moravis. They can talk forever. And
take a 7-second run and make it into 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Very good.
Minutes.
Very good.
Yeah. No problem.
Tell you everything that happened.
And with very good detail and very accurate. You never heard something come out of their mouth and go, "No, that isn't what I saw."
So what would they tell you about a run? Would they tell you about what happened at the half track or the first 100 feet or at the end when it started to nose over?
And then they would get it down to which cylinder did what.
What? Oh, wow.
No, they're counting the pipes and watching all the pipes.
Yeah, when we went to zoomy headers, you could see the fire.
Right. Well, this is before zoomy headers.
Weed sweepers, you had to look.
You had to look.
Yeah. And
you're going down the track.
The thing you watch for on the way down out of the peripheral vision is the fire coming back into the hole, because that's when the pistons were going to come out of the pipe.
And when the fire went down,
right,
and the pipe was starting to glow, yes.
But at this performance level, nobody was burning pistons, or nobody I knew was burning pistons. So we never burned a piston in our life.
Really?
You kept trying to drown them in nitro.
Yeah, we just drowned them.
Yeah, you just drown them because when you burn a piston, it's when it goes lean. So you weren't trying to lean it down to make more power.
A couple of times I goofed and kind of sunk the tops of them a little. Got a little toasty.
Right.
Once in a while, I'd leave we'd warm it up on alcohol because we would not waste nitro for warming it up. So we changed the fuel injector over, changed the main jet, changed some of the nozzles, which ones worked, and so on, just to warm it up. And then once in a while, we'd put everything back, and I'd forget to say change the main jet.
Yeah.
And so it was really lean. Boy, it would really fly until
until something happened.
Until the blower came off.
No, the way it worked, just because of our combination, the spark plugs would explode, and the ceramic insulator would leave, and so now there's no spark plug, and so it would just quit running. But boy, it would really be humming when it quit.
Stellings did that several times, and it ran better.
Oh yeah, but when Stellings did it, when you came back to the pits, you could look through the spark plug hole and see the ground.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
But boy, I was running real good just
Yep.
for that.
There were two kinds of spark plugs that were easy to get. They were the Champion spark plug and the Autolite spark plug. And you could usually get them for free if your car ran very well. So we liked the Champion spark plugs because they would come apart. When you really goofed, the ceramic would just explode. It would quit being a spark plug. And the Autolites didn't. They had a higher physical strength but a lower dielectric strength. So the Champion was a better insulator as far as electricity going through it
Mm-hmm.
than the Autolite. So anyway, and the fact that they didn't break, a lot of the drag racers thought that was just wonderful. They didn't view it as a fuse. We viewed it as a fuse. They used it as a fuse. And we even pleaded with Champion. We said, don't change the composition just because of your ceramic, because people are complaining about them falling apart, because that's the best thing about them. And they never did change them, at least during our time. So anyway, Larry Stellings, he loved those Autolites. And he'd say, he used to call me Surf. He says, Surf, he says, you don't want to use those damn Champion spark plugs. They fall apart and blah blah blah. So they had that famous red stamp car, beautiful car.
Mm-hmm.
And this is at Long Beach one night. And so he says, Surf, he says, come over here and look at this. So we go over to his car and he whips out his spark plug wrench. Out comes the spark plug. And he says, look at that thing. And it's a Autolite, a 201. Is that this? That sound right?
203.
203. 203, the coldest one they had. Pulls it out. And he says, look at that thing. It's not even hurt, you know. And I looked down through the spark plug hole and I could see the ground. Because there was no piston and there was no oil pan. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff left.
Oh.
And he was so proud of that
Spark
plug being so good.
Did he?
Melted the piston.
He
right?
They
didn't see
would
the
run in
forest for the
molten
trees.
aluminum.
But
Right.
But in Larry Stellings' mind, the fact that the spark plug had held up so well was proof that it was a better spark plug. He was a great guy. Boy, he helped us a lot. And he'd let you look at anything he had. He'd tell you anything he knew. Show you.
How to burn the piston out of it.
He would show you everything. He was just a wide open, really a good guy.
Nickname was
Rommel.
Rommel.
That's right.
He was a handsome devil. He had the hairspray and
Yeah.
The silver temples.
the silver temples, and I mean, he was just a classic guy. He was a boat racer, so he had that boat racer kind of style to
To
him.
look at it.
They were those, I called them Cuban stompers. They were
Cuban stompers.
pointed toe shoes that you could kill the roach in.
But
Yeah.
they had the zipper.
with the heel on them about
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
tall.
Yeah.
And he was cool.
Oh, he was
No question about
he
it.
was a great guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my Larry Stellings.
Excellent story. Nice. Glad you went there. Okay.
So we've stepped it up a little here. We've gone 2 months. That was early December of '63. Now we're February 1st of 1964. And according to this, Skinner, Crosser, and Job saw that their earlier 8:12 was not good enough. So now you've gone a half a second quicker, 4/10 quicker, and it's not good enough because the 795 it comes into play. So you might want to look at this because I love. There's a line on the next page that says it all about the surfers.
So, Don, did the 7-second run start in early '64? That sound right? Yeah.
There was a hot clocks time of 7:88 that Greek ran at the first UDRA meet that they threw out because it was so much faster than everybody else.
And this is the first.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. But anyway, for us to run in the 7s, it was like magic. I mean,
Right.
because we were stuck in the 8s.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
I understand.
Time,
Not
to-
stuck isn't the word. We were just. That's where we were.
time
at
for
that
celebration for you guys, man. That's
time. No, but
big.
it was for us. It was like, oh my God, look at this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're in the sevens. Oh, yeah. It was.
This is great.
It was a big step for a lot of people. But here's
then-
the best line.
Yeah, read it.
It says, a huge cloud of nitro fumes began to assail the eyes on this windless day as Skinner, Crosser, and Job lit up against Barlag and Clark. That says it all right there, because they're writing about there's something different about these guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Something different about these guys.
Correct.
It's February of 64, and already people are going, wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
Something different.
That's something.
And then it points out that at the end of the day, the Warren and Coburn Chevy, that would be that little blue car,
Yeah, the little blue car with the
they
blue
beat up on us again.
They did, yeah.
Which they did that regularly.
Well, they did that with a lot of people, that Chevrolet,
yes,
until
they did.
until they finally couldn't keep up. Then they put in a Chrysler in it.
God, what great guys.
And the rest is real history, too.
And then
Warren Coburn.
and the various partners, Miller, another good guy. Great guys.
Good job.
Anyway, they used to beat up on us. It was terrible. Sometimes if they didn't blow their stuff up and they were still in good shape, they'd run at San Fernando on Sunday. The San Fernando's at the back of the San Fernando Valley,
Right.
and they could just hop on the grapevine, hop over the hill, and they were back home in Bakersfield. And they'd leave there no later than about 3:30. But a lot of times there'd be this long arm. Both of them were real tall. There'd be a long arm hanging out of this station wagon, waving the money at us.
Oh no! Oh,
As they would go out the gate.
that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Nice recollection. Those are the ones we want.
James
Excellent.
Warren,
Boys.
he must have been probably 6'7", 6'6".
Pretty close.
Somewhere
Just a
around
little bit taller than you.
Yeah, probably 6'6". And then Roger Coburn, he had to have been 6'8", huh?
Yeah, he
Wow.
was taller than James.
He was
Really?
Another,
Yeah. Oh, you pick him out of a crowd easy.
And skinny.
Oh, yeah. It's about that big around.
and at the time they had a Ford station wagon, kind of a Colonel, about like yours, Bill Pitts. And I remember sometimes just to taunt us, you take the money out of it, you would go to the pay window and you get an envelope. They rip the envelope open.
No way.
So just as a good-natured joke, you know,
Sure.
as they're pulling out, this arm would come out and they'd be waving some cash.
Man. And all you guys were shaking your heads going,
Next week.
oh,
We'll get
yeah,
you next
next
week."
week.
Sometimes, you get real close and you're running maybe a little bit better than they are.
Right.
And pretty soon you're spending the money. You're going, you know what, we can get us a new, or we can pay off the, and you're doing that kind of stuff. And
Then they
on
beat up on you. Yeah, that's what capturing the flavor, the way of life. All of this is what this is doing also. So anything you have to say about any of this stuff is important. So,
Yes, and it's extremely important to me that
Well, and like his story, when the light turned green, everybody was an enemy. Everybody. The guy in the other lane was definitely your enemy. But at the other end, or in the pits, it was one big family. Everybody was there were a few I'm better than you kind of guys, but most everybody was just family. I mean, that was part of going back to the drags the next week, was to see your friends that you hadn't seen in a week and to intermingle in the pits, because it was...
And except for the professional builders like Pink and Black, whatever the other guy had that you needed to go to the next round and they're out, they take it off the motor. And in some cases, take the whole motor out.
Yeah,
Well, there's a great scene in 7 Second Love Affair where Rick Stewart is meeting the guy for the last round and needs more lead for the front axle, and he doesn't have his spare lead because he loaned it to the guy he's racing previously.
Yeah.
So now he's got to go borrow it from somebody else so they can race, because he already loaned his own lead, and that was the way it was. I mean, I need this. Okay, hold.